Hello, this is Mara Jade, and in this video I'm just going to briefly talk about what happened recently with John Boyega. Apparently in an interview he did with Variety, he made an innocent remark about the effects of social media and those who use social media, but as social justice warriors and perpetual victims are wont to do, they chose to harass him because they interpret it as an attack on Kelly Marie Tran. Because they're still running with the narrative that she was harassed off of social media by rabid anti-Last Jedi fans. Or not fans, critics. So he makes a comment. I'm going to scroll down to the comment because I'm not going to read this entire article. And then he's forced to do an apology by these people, even though he did not have to do one. So, this is the article where he's talking about his apology, and right here it says, readers construed as an attack on Star Wars co-star Kelly Marie Tran, and then down below, they still go with the narrative about her supposed harassment. Where is it? Okay, yes. Some interpreted Boyega's comments as a slam on Tran, who quit social media last year after months of harassment, with no proof whatsoever. She has not come out and said, this is what happened. This was a rumor started, most likely by Disney, and Lucasfilm, to deflect attention away from the mishandling of the Star Wars franchise. Tran herself never said she was harassed off of social media by Star Wars fans or anything or anyone. She blamed the media. And like Screen Rant, Variety, you're the media. But anyway, this was his comments. This was his answer to a question. Okay. Right here. Though through social media, we get to engage, we get to have fun, but at the same time, for those who are not mentally strong, you are weak to believe in every single thing that you read, which is true. There has to be some level of mental fortitude when you're dealing with social media, because I can only speak from personal experience. There are people whose sole existence in life is to cause misery to others. Trolls on the internet who will say despicable things because they don't have the courage to do it in real life. They use the anonymity of the internet to make themselves feel better. And sometimes, if you do not have that mental strength, and I'm not blaming that person, necessarily, those people who do not have that, they should not be on social media. And he said, it is what it is. I don't know, for me anyway, when I see that backlash, I'm like, well, that's actually not true. But no, it's actually not true. That's all he's saying. He's saying, basically, you have to have a toughness to you. Because there's going to be people who harass anyone on the internet. Like, it's not just celebrities. Anyone can be a target. And that's all he's saying. And he's saying, don't believe everything. Don't take everything to heart. We used to live by the mantra, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And people who love to carry the victim card forget that. Or ignore it because they love the attention their victimhood status gives them. But anyway, this is his apology on Twitter that I responded to. And he says, in no way was I referring to Kelly. There was any way that anyone with any amount of common sense would have interpreted it as such. But he says, when I made my comments, although the interviewer mentioned her given the topic. Okay, fine, the interviewer mentioned her, but Boyega never did. He talked about the effects of social media. I was really speaking from my own perspective throughout this franchise. Sometimes I felt strong and sometimes I felt weak. Badly worded, though, I apologize. No, it wasn't badly worded. It was not badly worded at all. anyone with common sense, as I said, would not have interpreted as an attack on Kelly Marie Tran. But the victim card carrying members of society, who like to think of themselves as pillars of tolerance, attacked you. This is a war, pretty much, on freedom of speech. That is what political correctness is. There is nothing free about that mentality. It's this plantation of accepted groupthink that if you dare to even have one original thought, one thought outside of the accepted goose-stepping beliefs, they whip you back onto it. They sick the hounds on you and force you back onto the plantation. Don't have an original thought. Don't you dare step outside the accepted groupthink. And my response was, you said absolutely nothing wrong. Never apologize to people like this. Never apologize to people like this. Unless you actually did what they are claiming you did, don't apologize. It's like blood in the water for these people. That's how sharks find victims. You apologize to these people, they sense it as weakness, and they will come after you continuously. I don't know if John Boyega will see this, but I want him to know that you did nothing wrong. You said nothing wrong. There was nothing for you to apologize for. You are a decent actor. I loved you in Attack the Block, and if anybody has not seen that movie, I highly recommend it. With the exception of one little tiny part in the film I do have issue with, but that's my own personal opinion. The movie itself is just, I love it. I generally love British films. I love the dry British humor, and that's what the movie is. And John Boyega stars in it, and it's a funny movie. It's really good, and he has potential to be a big star. He's a decent actor, and he has that potential, and his potential is wasted in these films, these Disney Star Wars films. We could have seen essentially Kyle Katarn's story, and anyone who's familiar with the EU knows who I'm talking about, because we saw this with Force Awakens. The defected stormtrooper turned rebel, essentially, and that's his Katarn story. And I thought, oh, okay, well, they threw out the EU. Maybe we're seeing it with this character, and he'll be trained like a Jedi, because it was given, we were given the impression he was Force sensitive in one of the scenes. And then he got turned into a joke in the second movie, a second banana comic relief. So I'm sorry, Boyega, that you had to deal with this, and I'm sorry anything on social media you've had to deal with. You don't deserve it, and you didn't deserve to apologize for this. That's my take on this whole situation that happened. But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. If you agree with me, if you don't, I don't know how anyone could have interpreted his remarks as an indictment on what Kelly Marie Tran, her getting off of social media, her claiming to have gone through therapy as a result, or anything like that. This is Mara Jade. You see, I do have Twitter, so if you want to follow me on Twitter, my link is in the description below, as well as I'm on Discord, and that link is in the description below that I'm a part of. So again, if you like, let me know, leave a thumbs up, and I will catch you on the dark side with another video in the future. See ya!